Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you all about why eating meat is really bad for you spiritually, and it has a lot of things that's bad on a physical scale as well, and I learned that because I'm someone who works out very often and I used to love meat. But let me start off by saying this video is not going to be for you if you're stubborn, if you have a refusal to learn, or if you're hard-headed, which I was really hard-headed back then. I used to love meat so much I would eat it pretty much raw. I used to eat every kind of meat that was just extra rare to the point where it was bleeding. And I realized that was heavily hindering me spiritually. So when I put myself around a bunch of mediums of light, one of the reasons I found out some of my gifts were kind of getting stuck is that they identified that my diet was very meat based, and it wasn't helping me grow. I wasn't getting enough vegetables. I was not getting enough just natural life, just plants, things that are growing, essences of nature, versus me and I did not accept that at all. I did not even take that in at all. I was just like, that can't be it. Like, I was one of those people who is so, and a lot of this video is not going to sit well with a lot of people. And guess what? I'm here to tell you that if I made you feel like you have to be on guard at all, if I made you feel to the point where you feel like this is a ridiculous thing for me to say, I'm glad because I got my point across. You have to be accepting of some knowledge. If you're completely rejecting it, that flat out states that you have a wall of just stubbornness up, and that's okay, because even people will tell me I like eating meat. That's okay. I'm like, okay, thank you for your opinion, thank you for your the facts that you bring forth, opinions that you bring forth. Everyone believes different things. That's just the day and age that we live in. It's just, that's how life is. People believe and practice certain things. I'm telling you right now, coming from someone who's a flat out carnivore and eating just every single kind of meat like 2 to 3 times a day, just if you saw what I was eating, I must have had like some kind of like developed some kind of immunity to eating raw meat, because I don't know why I was into that way back then. Keep in mind that I was just my background's Brazilian. They cook meat. They have the most beautiful seasonings, and they would at barbecues they would just be like, "Oh, you want it rare, extra rare?" Just, it might not sound right, but it was delicious, and it was like just how my mom's family did it. How the Brazilian side of my family would cook meat is just basically either really cooked or really undercooked, and it was delicious either way. But now I realized the point where I took a break, and I'm not talking about fish or chicken, because I'll explain to you right now why those two are different. So basically, there are several factors that go into this, and I'm not going to use too much scientific data or just anything. I'm not going to pull up anything biblical specifically or anything from other cultures. I'm going to say from my flat out experience, and just because I've seen how this goes. This goes into like just fact war of like, oh, people pulling up this study, and oh, people pulling up this study, oh, people pulling up this verse of the Bible, using it against people pulling up from other verse of the Bible, and just verses or the Quran, and just people just twisting knowledge. I'm telling you what I believe in and how this is working for me. After I stopped eating meat, all my gifts started blasting opening. I started being able to feel. I stopped being so stressed out all the time. And even I got my parents to quit meat, and they are a lot more calm now. Their gifts started opening. It's just a wonderful thing. So one thing that meat is going to block you off on is the gift of being able to feel. So when I was heavily eating meat, I would grab a crystal or a stone and not really feel it as much. I'm like, okay, all right. Or I'd be in a room and I wouldn't really feel the energy of the entire room. I was kind of like, felt like kind of closed off. I'm not sure why that was. And I've noticed this happens to my people who I've gotten to. I'm not convincing anyone to be vegan or stop eating meat at all. I like eating fish. I think fish is beautiful, and it's just tasty and delicious, and it goes straight through me, and it helps me work out and it helps me feel good. But that's just me. Fish don't resemble humans at all. Chickens don't resemble humans at all. They're more on the they're closer to their ancestors, which were not humans, dinosaurs basically. So they're not, you can cut off a chicken's head, and there was one chicken that lived almost its entire life with its head cut off, and you can't tell me any human can do that unless you're the headless horseman. Again, this video might seem completely ridiculous to some. the thing is, I'm putting out information that I've been living and has been helping me. So I noticed when I stopped eating meat is when I was able to feel things. I was able to go outside in nature and feel my essence, and just the ground under me. I could feel the ground of the ground under me. I could feel roots in trees, and I was just starting to just open, like fully open, to the point where I tried to go back to meat, and then I noticed I was just kind of like lethargic. I was feeling stressed out. I was just feeling, I don't know why I did that. I have a few theories. One of the things is it's because a lot of the meat in America, or in general, let's say it's a cow or a pig. So that, I mean, that's coming from someone who I'm not gonna, because I went to school for this, and I was around a lot of meat science majors, and I was actually in the butchering places. But let's just say that the animals are in stress before they die. That's a nice way to put it. That's a very nice way to put it. They're stressed out before they die. It's not as ethical as you think it might be. They don't just go like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna turn to meat now. Roast pork. No, that's not how it is. They have a lot of stress when they die. They release a lot of stress hormones when they die. The energy of stress and panic and bad conditions. And what do you mean by bad conditions? Well, they're in cages. They're trapped. They're being pushed. They're basically bred to die. How many people in society have you basically seen and wondered, is this person just kind of living their life just so they can, are they just getting by? Are they just trying, like, are they just going with the flow of things? Are they being herded? That's what a lot of the energy of pork and beef is. It's just kind of herd energy. It's kind of like, okay, just go with the flow. Don't question anything. You're being put on, you're just basically following these steps. You're following this path. And if you're still watching this deep into the video, congratulations. You have an open mind, because I've had so much backlash in trying to teach this. People were trying to shut me down, like, oh, you can't say that. I hope these comments make you not want to teach anymore. I'm like, this made me want to teach even more. I'm like, if I have an opinion that's so different from everyone else, and keep in mind, I'm not a vegan. I'm not trying to get you guys to be vegan. I'm just telling you my personal experience. This has worked for me. I've opened my gifts to like a giant extent compared to when I was eating meat, and I've seen people's gifts as well completely open when they stopped eating beef and pork, especially pork. You can see this in several, even in the Bible. A pork has always been a medium for a lower level entity. Pigs have been used as a medium for very dark spirits. And I notice that, especially when a lot of my family and friends stop eating pork, they stop being as lethargic, not as aggressive, not as sensitive, not as just feeling low or just having bad days. Like, they're more, and I love almonds. I love Greek yogurt. I know it comes from cows, but it's not beef. The thing is, I told you, I'm not a vegan, and I'm just very happy to teach this, because if my opinion or what I believe in is so different and it might help someone open their spiritual gifts as well, then I've gotten my point across. I'm just trying to help people, and I just like changing people's lives in a positive direction, and that's what this video is about. And I can't even go back to meat if I tried now. I tried to eat beef and it made me completely sick, and I was just feeling very down, and I felt a giant difference, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And I'm eating fish now, and I have to say, I do eat a lot less chicken now. I really enjoy fish. They are in, and I know, I try to eat the freshest fish I can. I live in South Florida, so I go to places that it's going to be more likely to be fresh caught, or that's the catch of the day. But the thing is, this message makes me feel good to help people, because how crazy people have been thinking I am for trying to teach this message, I am very glad to be helping you guys, because the people who listen to me are going to have their gifts open. They're going to have the gift of feeling. I have just, some of my abilities I did not think would be started opening when I stopped eating meat. No one told me that. It's just, I went completely by intuition. I asked through prayer. I was asking for answers. I'm like, what can I do to help myself spiritually open? What can I do to help myself spiritually progress? And the thing is, when you start eating beef and pork, especially all the time, your vibration tanks. Angels, I'm talking about angelic beings, not just ancestors or spirit guides, but angels, like the angelic realm, God's creations, cannot help you as much when you're out of a vibrational spectrum from them, because you have to be on a high vibration to reach them. If you swear all the time, you're not going to be putting yourself around angels. You're going to be lowering yourself past that, because they start staying quiet whenever you start swearing. When you start talking to angels and you start cussing left and right, they're just like, okay. Like, oh, all right. Like, when you push them away, they're like, oh, all right, I'll help someone else. I'm not going to waste my time here. Like, this guy's not going to learn. He has to learn on himself. I might come back. I might not. Whatever. And they'll peel out. And they'll go to someone who's actually doing their highest, the best efforts they can to raise their vibrations. And I'm saying this from experience and working around other angelic mediums as well. The thing is, I am so grateful to have stopped eating meat, because I've been able to just experience life differently. I've been happy every single day. I've just been smiling and just feeling good, and I just feel clean. And I noticed I used to have a belly back then. My belly came off. I didn't change my diet that much other than stop eating beef and pork. That's the thing. Like, I feel way healthier. I remember I would used to go to Publix and I would get like just the pork, and I would eat the pork, and I would just like, and I would just start feeling very puffy and bloated, and I didn't feel good. But now I feel amazing. I hope this video really helps some of you guys feel amazing, because that's what this video is about. This video is to try and help you guys be on your highest path, the best good. Listen, you can try my advice with an unbiased perspective. You can just take my advice with a grain of pepper and a grain of salt, or a grain of salt, but just, you can try it. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. We're all different. We're all on different paths. Some of us want to be closer to the light. Some people don't really care. It's okay. It doesn't matter. But if you don't believe me, there's other mediums who do good, and other you can talk to elders who just do good and just help people and heal people, and they will tell you that. The thing is, if you want to put yourself around angelic beings, if you want to raise your vibration, you have to stay away from beef and pork. That's it. If you're someone who eats beef and pork, and just use this as a study. Talk to as many people as you can, and find out how many people eat beef and how many people eat pork, and ask them, how do they feel on the days that they eat beef or pork? And then how do they feel on the days that they don't eat beef and pork? And you'll start to notice a pattern. You won't just be taking my word. I want you guys to do your own research, learn by yourselves, form your own opinions. Don't just believe me. Live the advice. Don't just see one person on YouTube. Don't just see me on YouTube and be like, oh, I think he's right. I think I should quit beef and pork because of him. Because that's not a foundation for knowledge. This is just to get you thinking, especially for the people who are not going to believe me at all. At least I am the person to say it. People on the YouTube shorts were trying to like scare me off from talking about this topic. I'm going to talk about this topic because I'm passionate about it. I see it helps people, and I'm just very excited to help you guys grow. I have a passion for life and passion for helping people develop themselves to be the highest versions of them. Like I said, I'm not a vegan. I am not a vegan. I know people who are vegans and they're all for it. I don't think I'm at that step. That's just me. But I cannot eat beef or pork, and I know several people like that, and I know how I feel when I do eat beef and pork, and how my body reacts to it, especially in the gym. The thing is, when I switch from, and people ask, oh, how do you lift so much weight for when you're losing what's it called, body fat, and you're kind of slimming down, but you're lifting more weight. I thought you couldn't bulk and shred at the same time. I'm like, all I'm doing is just eating simple proteins. I'm eating more vegetables. I'm eating nuts and berries and the beautiful things of nature. I'm just very passionate and excited to teach this message. I'm very glad this message is getting out there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like I said, you don't have to believe me. I'm not gonna pull up any facts or articles or any specific scientific studies, because you guys will start throwing information at each other, and just like you feel like no one wins, and you don't know what side to pick, so you don't pick any side and you just don't make any changes. This video is to get you thinking. Like I said, if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. I love helping you guys. If you disagree with me, comment that you disagree with me. If you agree with me, comment that you agree with me. The thing is, it's a discussion, it's to get people thinking, and it's to literally live your own advice. Don't just take the advice. See how on days, try this. Like maybe for 1 month, you don't eat steak or pork. Then the next month, you eat steak or pork. Or just vice versa, or like you can do every other day, and just, or maybe a week at a time, as long as you're consistent with it, as long as you're writing down how you feel, how your connection to your guide's feeling, just try it for yourself, live the advice. Until then, I'm happy to get you guys thinking. I will see you guys next time. Ciao!